just going back to when I first saw Fernando play, man, like the way he moved, the way he approached the plate, his presence, his confidence, the way he moved, the way he turned the double play, the way he took ground balls was just like, I was like, wow, man, I want to play just like that. You guys played hard, man. It was just like, I was in a different world, man. It was like high intensity, man. Like it was just like, you can hear a needle drop. Everyone was just like so focused on that pitch. And then I just try to emulate that and try to just watch and learn and then try to do the same thing. Fernando, when did you first find baseball? Like, when did you know in your heart, like, this is it for me?
I think early on, I loved it. As a kid, my dad played in Cuba and my older brother played, and my parents came from Cuba to give me an opportunity, give me, my brother, and my sister opportunity here in the United States, which was, I just thank Jesus Christ for that blessing, because the pieces of my puzzle would have never come together if none of that would have taken place. And my dad and my mom took a lot of chances, to leave Cuba, on a boat, a raft type deal to get to Key West. And he was reprimanded 3 times, and they take him away and take him to the sugarcane factories and fields to work, and not to be able to see his family for long periods of time. So finally it worked out the third time, and he got to the United States with my mom was pregnant with me and my brother and my sister. So it gave us a chance. So I think it's obviously, as being Cuban, our heritage is all about playing baseball. We love the game of baseball. We love boxing. Just the only way to really try to get off the island and make something happen. So it was in my blood, because my brother, my dad played in Cuba. I got here, and as a little guy, I always would dream and watch the A's games or Giants games, and just wish and dream, man, maybe I can become a baseball player, Major League Baseball player. I never knew or thought it would come true or come to fruition, but it was amazing when you dream big. And, I started off in Little League, Parkway Little League. Jim Carlson was my manager, and these mentors start to accumulate for me. And they give you the confidence a little bit. People start caring about you. It started with him. It started with Andy Lopez with Lamb Park Pony and Colt League. And then in high school with Mr. Santangelo, Frank Katsoulis, who were my managers, Mr. Cruz, Coach Cruz. These guys start believing in you. And then all of a sudden, as a young man, you start having a little confidence and believing in yourself. And I think all of us, all kids, in our whatever role or whatever avenue we want to go in life, I think we all need mentors to believe in us, to keep us going. I think it's just the way it is. So I had that, with the coaches, and they believed in me. And then obviously when I went to Sac City with Jerry Weinstein and Paul Carmazzi, I mean, these guys believed in me, and I had it in my heart to work. I knew I might not make it, but I knew in my heart I was going to outwork everybody and give it all I had. And that's just the way, the mindset and the way I was brought up with my mom and dad, what they did to get us here. It was kind of part of the culture, the way the family was, and what they did to get us here, which I was so appreciative and grateful. And then obviously I went to Arizona State, and Jim Brock, and he believed in me and gave me a shot. And I think early on in Little League, I think it was brought over Camilo, I guess, to hit it, to touch on it completely, is from my dad. He played in Cuba, and it was something that was in our blood. And I just ran with it. I never thought in a million years it would come true. I thought it was so far away, and man, how things happen so quickly. And I try to tell kids these days to never give up on your dream and keep digging, because it might seem far away, but things happen quickly. And I'm the true meaning of that.
Yeah, you're the example and the belief. Belief,
Yeah.
something before it's there. And so did your dad, like, you guys play catch and hit, and like, I would say this, dude, like, you can hit, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start hitting the ball and you liked it, you enjoyed it, but then when did you start, like, really putting in the work in terms of like making a process?
Obviously my dad would work with me. My older brother could hit. He could hit himself, and I seen that and watched that as a little guy, and that's why I batted left-handed, because my brother's a lefty.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I started batting left-handed, and my dad obviously helped me. I could hit, but I didn't really know how to hit. I think as when you're in the smaller, in the lower levels, the game isn't as fast, and it hasn't sped up yet the way it does as you keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
So at the lower levels, I could go up to the batter's box and just try to pull everything, and and hook everything, and that would be successful for me at that level because guys wouldn't throw you off the plate. Guys wouldn't have obviously nasty changeups or sinkers or tough pitches that you really had to be a good hitter to be able to hit the ball from line to line as the speed of the game gets faster. So I just started to learn how to hit. I mean, I think the biggest thing, I had the ability to put the bat on the ball. I had good hand-eye coordination, great, tremendous bat to ball skills, I guess I would say. I had a short swing, which is huge. And a guy like Jerry Weinstein helped me, Paul Carmazzi. They started simplifying and breaking down the lower half of my body and my swing. And that's what made me learn, obviously. And Jeff Pentland was another guy for me at Arizona State. He put a big 40-40 wooden bat in my hand, and he would soft toss me, side toss me, and I really had to learn how to just use my hands and use my lower half. Don't try to, keep my upper half as quiet and simple as possible, but fire my lower half, and that's what taught me how to stay inside balls and really work from line to line, and I really took off from there. At Arizona State, I was able to win the Pac-10 batting championship, and obviously I got drafted that year at Arizona State, and started playing. And in the minor leagues, you get a wooden bat in your hand. You really got to learn how to hit, and you got to really learn and know your lower half and how the mechanisms and the mechanics work to fire with your backside and to really, can you fire with your backside but keep your hands back? I think a lot of kids these days, and it's tough. It's tough to learn. Hitting's tough. A lot of kids, their hands leak when their lower half comes. So the key is to always keep your hands back when your lower half starts coming. So if you are fooled with your lower half, your hands are still back and you still have a chance to square a ball up and make contact. And that's what I think early on, I had the talent, a good bat to ball skills, but I continued to evolve and learn and take it all in. And you look at the best hitters to ever play the game, from, Stan Musial to Albert Pujols to Nolan Arenado to these days, Mike Trout. I mean, all these guys are examples that you got to keep your hands back and fire with your backside. And I learned that. And my role as a top of the order leadoff hitter, I had to, hit line drives all over the field from line to line, foul pole to foul pole. So if I didn't do that, I would have never had any success, or I would have never stayed in the big leagues for too long. So I learned that, and I continued to work at it. And it all started again with Jerry Weinstein, Paul Carmazzi, Jim Brock, and Jeff Pentland at Arizona State.
Can I jump in here real quick? And Fernando, you mentioned the word mentors. What's the difference between coaches and mentors?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look back for myself, coaches are mentors. I think when we're going through it, sometimes we think our coaches are hard on us or they're too tough on us, or, you don't really learn that example till you're down the road a little bit, and you look back, you say, man, that coach really taught me a lot, and he was my mentor. So I think coaches are huge mentors. Obviously, other gentlemen or women, whoever it might be that you respect, that give you good advice. I mean, you take it all in. I think if for someone to grow, you have to take it all in. And I remember early on, I remember Jerry Weinstein telling me early on, Fernando, it's up to you, but you can't take that least path of resistance. I mean, you got to always go after even though it's tough, you got to go after it head on, and that'll make you better down the road. And I think that's what I try to stress with younger kids now is, quit always, taking that easy path. Go sometimes take that other avenue. And even though it might be tough and you might fail, that's okay, because you'll bounce back up and you'll get better and better. So I think obviously we all need mentors. We all need, people to believe in us. And that's part of the dream, right? To having people that have been through it and have that experience to believe in us. And, I took it to heart. And again, I wasn't a guy that was a 5-tool guy, a first round pick, a number, whatever first round pick in the world or nation, you name it. I was a guy that, they told me early on that I couldn't do it. And that opened me up and fired me up and opened my heart up to grind and to work and to prove all these people wrong that said I couldn't do it, regardless of what scouting report they had on me that day. I was going to change that. And I changed that by working. And there's no shortcuts. Obviously, that's a cliche, but there is no shortcuts. We have to work. We have to put in the time. And I think it all starts with people believing in you. When someone believes in you, it could be the smallest of the smallest, but when someone gives you the time of day and believes in you, that goes a long ways. And I take that now with the young kids these days, and we all got to take it in and run with it.
Yeah, Jerry, I go, man, I would watch him and he's a mentor, but I'm kind of like staying away. He's addressing the team and stuff, and I would listen and I would take it all in. But I watched his example. I go, man, this dude's here all the time, man. He's like, he's so hard. He's hardcore about the game. I go, man, that guy loves the game more. I go, man, I got to play harder because I'm watching him. I'm watching what he does. And it's all about 100% best effort, play the game at the highest level, the highest intensity. I just watched. I go, man, this dude doesn't even get to pick up a bat and he's going hard. And so, that rubbed off on me. I go, man, I want to love the game more than him. And so, but I just watched him. I got to watch him, day in and day out, consistency, effort, intensity, and helping guys, get the most out of their potential. And so,
Yeah, Jerry's amazing. Just the way he can command a room and and have everyone buy in. That's huge. I was blessed to have those guys around me. Jerry, Paul Carmazzi, Tony La Russa was huge for me. Lou Piniella was huge. I mean, these are the guys that could command a room, and you had to really have your ears open all the time and take everything in and go with it. So that's why I think it's all part of the equation. You have to have those guys believe in you, and man, they bring so much, so you have to take it all in.
yeah.
And who are those guys? Are they still doing it?
Jerry Weinstein now is he's been in professional baseball for years. He just got a top role with the Chicago Cubs, so he's a guy that loves the game. I mean, he's still traveling around last year with the Rockies in the minor leagues, teaching kids how to catch, how to play the game, how to bunt, you name it. He knows it all, so he brings a lot. Paul Carmazzi, I think he's not as much on the field as much, but he's still around Sac City. He works there. Tony La Russa, obviously he's retired. He's a Hall of Famer who was special in my career. Helped me a lot. Phil Garner. These guys are, Jim Brock passed away. My dad, he passed away recently, which hurt me, to lose a man like that. So, yeah, I mean, these are special guys, and we take so much from it. And kids these days have to, put their feet on the ground and listen.
Yeah, that's the difference is like when I'm working with another guy, it's like getting that athlete to believe in himself and like, no, like, hey man, I'm just following, someone showed me this and I'm just going to do what they say. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to do what they want, like what they're showing me and do it until I get it. And then that's it. And so I get a lot of guys who are like relying on what they think they know or what they believe in. I go, man, you're trying to hit a pitcher who's going to get you out and you got to, this is the process to do it, So the game is going to ask you to do more. The game is going to ask your skill set to get better each and every year. So it's not me pushing to the side. The game is going to, is going to keep the ball. It's going to, be at a high intensity. And so your skills are going to be there or they're not going to be there. And so when you get in front of a good coach, like at the camp, I go, you're in front of Fernando Viña, man, he's showing you how to do it. You just got to do that every single day with that same type of intensity because that's what he did to get where he goes. And that's the battle is to stay focused on, and believe that is going to come to fruition. And that self-confidence that comes along, obviously with the hard work and then letting the process and letting the results speak for themselves, just like you did.
You got to keep, like you said, Camilo, you have to keep up with the game because as the levels continue to get higher and higher, you have to be crisper, you have to be cleaner, your mechanics have to be better, and you have to be mentally tougher and tougher and tougher. I think a lot of kids these days, they don't realize this game, baseball's tough. It's a game of failure. You're going to get out, every kid's got to realize you're going to get out 7 out of 10 times, and you're a Hall of Famer if you do that. You get out 7. Think about that. You're up to the plate, and you're going to go right at first base 7 out of 10 times. Can you keep your mind right? Can you stay even keel and positive? Or are you going to melt and let those 7 times, wear you out from working and continue to keep digging? That's what a lot of these kids don't realize. It's a game of failure. You're going to strike out. You're going to make errors, but it's how we respond to all these different situations in this game because that's that's the guys that make it and continue to get better and continue to improve. Because as you keep moving up, like you said, Camilo, you have to continue to make adjustments. You have to continue to get better. You can't just stay stagnant in this game because, things get faster, things get quicker, pitchers get better. All the defenders get better. So a lot of hits won't drop like they used to drop in high school. But I think mentally is the huge key. Can I stay even kill, which is even to me it was tough. I mean, it's a work in progress. Can I stay even kill and continue to stick with my process of working correctly, even if I go 0 for 10 or if I go 0 for 20? Can I keep my mind right and keep digging and knowing that, the light's there at the end of the tunnel if I continue to do things properly and correctly, fundamentally right, defensively, offensively, or running the bases?
A question for both of you guys is, what do you think the biggest issue with baseball in this new generation? Maybe one thing that sticks out that, is something that needs to get fixed.
I think for me, it's the lack of fundamentals and doing things right, the small things, the little things. That's what separates a player. I mean, because all these kids are talented, but can you focus on doing things that you don't do well? I think a lot of kids always want to do what they do. Oh, I can really pull the ball, or I can hit a home run, or I can just keep hooking balls, and they just keep doing that, and they don't look in the mirror and say, what don't I do well in this field? What do I need to really work on? Because that's what you got to really focus on. Don't, leave those things alone that you do really, that you feel comfortable about. We have to do the things that we're uncomfortable with, and that is the small things. That is learning how to run the bases correctly, learning how to step on first base correctly. A lot of you watch kids these days, and it's a learning process. And you watch where they step on the top of the bag or on the other side of the bag, away from the inside part of the bag. You always want to step on the inside part of the bag. That makes a huge difference. Do you get a good secondary lead every pitch? That's another small thing that we need to learn. It can't be every other pitch. We got to get a good secondary lead, two short, low shuffles every pitch, because we want to make sure and we want to mimic the same thing every time, so that catcher and the other team doesn't know what we're doing, whether we're stealing or we're just trying to read the ball in the dirt. We got to do it all the time. Can we run the bases correctly? Can we go first to third, and work on those little things? Can we get a good secondary lead at third base and see the ball off the bat and get a good secondary lead and score a run there? Just a bunch of little things that you have to continue to work on. As an infielder, you got to see the ball in, smother it with your eyes. As a hitter, the same way. A lot of kids want to have these big, long leg kicks that the bottom line is, to be a good hitter, you got to get your feet down. But it looks pretty, and some big league hitters that have some pop will do that, but they're able to simplify it and get their feet down. But a lot of these kids want to, have these long leg kicks, and they're just, hitting's hard enough. And when you don't get your front foot down early enough, you're never going to be able to make contact or have, solid contact. So just a bunch of little parts of the game, these long swings, we have to shorten. We got to know our role. I think kids these days, athletes, whether you're a basketball player or a baseball player, you got to know your role. If you're a top of the order guy, you're a middle infielder. We don't need to hit home runs. I mean, know what you're doing. We got to hit balls line to line. If you're a point guard in basketball, you got to facilitate. You got to bring it up. If the ball's give to you, you got to be able to shoot at times. But you got to be a team player and facilitate and make things happen with the other guys, right? So I think it's just knowing your role and trying to be the best at your role. And I think that's what's lacking, teaching kids these days, the small things, the little things. And you can't be bored with it, because once you learn and to do the small things and the little things, you got to just, go head first into it and continue to work day in, day out in this game, because it gets tougher and tougher as you keep rolling. But that's part of the hard work, doing things the right way. You have to stick with and keep going. Is my opinion.
Love it.
Yeah, the little things are like what you just brought up. That's like staying focused on each pitch, because we got to capitalize on each opportunity to move up a base or to square up on a pitch. And you're probably familiar with this. It's like guys that take pitches off, and it's like, man, you can't. I know for me, I could not take a pitch off. I had to be like, just like your best effort, man. I just watched it from you. Like, give your best effort, 100% effort, and do what the game calls for at that situation, and do the best in that situation to help the team, score a run or get on base, or, work the count. Like, that's a skill, man. Work the count, like being able to hit a ball, knowing that's going to be a foul ball. That's going to be a foul ball. How many guys are working to that level where like, I can foul this pitch off, throw this pitch off, I can keep it out of play. And then there's times where I got to just put this ball in play to, put pressure on the defense. But what was your process in terms of like daily routine to stay focused? I mean, obviously, like I say this to all guys, I go, man, if you love this game, you're going to love practice. You're going to love the whole process of being a baseball player. You walk into the locker room, man, the guys know if you're like all in or all out, and the guys who are all in are going to, they're going to just keep going, and then they're going to leave guys behind. And that's what happens. If the guys in the lineup know, or whoever's pitching know, like Fernando's behind me, man, he's going his best effort, man, that helps out the pitcher so much. Like our defense makes our pitcher better because now he could put extra on his pitches. He knows his catcher's going to block. He knows his second baseman is going to, still get a guy out and keep the ball in front and tag the runner. And so the levels of the game to outperform, it's just like, it's amazing. I just want to bring back, man, you hit 10 bombs at Consumidus, dude.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's another play. I forgot to speak about that. I led not to talk about myself, but just being factual. I led the state in hitting at Casumas. I think I hit I don't know what it was, 580 or something. I mean, that's uncalled. You never hear about that. But again, that was I would hit in the cage all the time. I was starting to learn how to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Pitchers didn't think I could, get the barrel to the ball, and I was getting the barrel to the ball at Casumas and being consistent. But I think that's where the process started, hitting off the tee all the time. Learning the right bat path for myself, for what I needed to do. And when you do that correctly over and over again, good things happen. I mean, you're able to get on a roll and good things happen. I think that's where I loved at that point. I loved playing. I got drafted by the Yankees there. And then obviously that gave me some hope too. But, with the kids, you have to continue to work, and you have to learn. Not every kid has that work ethic, but you have to learn it, and you got to get it. You got to buy into it. And like you said, Camilo, it's contagious. When you have a player that buys into it and works his rear end off, it's contagious for that whole team, and as a player, you got to separate, lumber and leather. You got to be able to separate what you do at the plate from what you do on defense. Because if I'm struggling at the plate, I'm going to go out there as a Gold Glove infielder because I work hard at it, and I'm going to save some runs for my team, for my pitchers. I'm going to dive. I'm going to get dirty. I'm going to turn the double plays that people think you can't turn, the tough ones. I stayed in there. I wanted that. I wanted that challenge to turn double plays that they didn't think I could turn. And I did that at the big league level over and over again because of my footwork. I was taught the right footwork, got my feet down. I was able to turn it. So I think, it's all part of the process. It's contagious. It's, it's something the young kids, we have to buy in. You got to buy in, and you got to sell out. You got to, at some point, I think every young kid has to look in the mirror and say, am I going to buy in? And I'm going to give it all I have here in this sport, whether it goes good or not, I'm going to keep going until they pull that jersey off my back, and I'm going to see what happens. And I think that's where where it meets, you have to kind of look yourself in the eye and in the mirror and say, do I want this? Am I going to work for this? And then go from there. Because I mean, I try to tell kids these days, with the opportunities they have to get scholarships paid for. I mean, they're giving out a ton of scholarships these days. It's hard to find gamers, and they want them. And whether it's a college scholarship where they pay for your schooling, and when you get on campus, they treat you like a king, which is amazing. I mean, these are times, these are life-changing times, whether you get a scholarship or you play professionally, you get drafted. I mean, these are just huge moments in someone's life that will change, life-changing times for not only the player or the athlete, but for their families, which it was for myself, which I never thought in my dreams that I would be able to do something like that. I was able to help my parents out with the home, my brothers and my sisters, all because of this game, because thank God I bought into it, and I just went hard, and I said, I'm going to give it all I have. I didn't think I had a chance, but I kept digging.
Hey, Fernando, I got a question about who some kids should be looking at any level, maybe to say MLB. Do they have the work ethic in which we've been talking about here?
I mean, if you look at professional baseball, you look at Nolan Arenado, you look at Mike Trout. I mean, these guys have been around and played for a long time. Albert Pujols was a rookie when I was in St. Louis, and I kind of took him under my wing, and man, he turned out to be amazing, isn't he? But I mean, there's so many players that you look at that play the game the right way. I'm trying to think of the other players here now. I like the third baseman for the Giants. I can't think of his name right now. It's not coming to me.
With Matt Williams, I seen a video of him working out with Matt.
Yeah.
Williams was sitting in Fungo, He came from the A's.
Matt Chapman.
Chapman, yeah.
There you go, Matt Chapman. He's a gamer. I mean, he does things the right way and excels at the little things. You know, he gets it, and you see how he's so awesome with the glove because he respects it. He gives a lot of time to it, and man, he's hungry to be. You got to want to be good. I think with young kids, they got to realize at some point, do I want to be good at this or do I want to be average? And some guys have that inner factor that kind of takes you to that next level of being good. You know, from good to from average to good to great, and that's kind of that. I took a lot of pride. I was picky as heck, but you have to be picky. And you gotta want to do things right all the time to get to that next level. You know what I mean? You can't let things kind of fall by the wayside and then think you're going to be great or good later. You got to always be picky when you're practicing. You got to keep your eye on the ball. You got to let the ball travel. You got to do the little things over and over again and be super picky. And sometimes I hate that I'm so picky, but I mean, if I didn't hit a ball hitting off the tee, if I didn't hit that last swing perfectly and barrel it up and hit it where I wanted to hit it, I had to keep doing it. I had to keep doing it till I got it right. I was the king of give me one more, give me two more, give me three more, five, give me five more, or hit me 10 more ground balls. You know, I want to get this right. Let's turn a couple more double plays. You gotta be picky and you gotta be selective and work again. I think it all goes back to work and taking advantage of. But I mean, there's so many players these days that you know you look at Juan Soto, another guy that's picky. He wants to be good. He's got a great idea at the plate. He's a power guy, but man, he'll hit balls from line to line. He stays inside balls beautifully. So, I mean, there's so many players these days that have that mentality to want to be great. And you see what happens when they get on the big stage. They're able to get it done, which is not easy to do.
Yeah, you had a good point of you set your standard and it's a line drive, like, and being able to control it and move that barrel where you want it, precision and repeatability, being able to demonstrate and do that. I have my hitters, I go, man, you got to put your best swing on every pitch. And so, like you said, break it down, slow it down, and get piece by piece. Because I haven't break it down, go piece by piece, because that's the only way I can control a perfect swing. And then, like you talked about, like you took enough swings to know, like, okay, my barrel's good as here. I can get it here consistently to move the ball around. I mean, that's a lot. That takes a lot of swings to figure out that as a hitter to be like, okay, if I move here, this is where it's going here, here, here. To figure out the angles of your body and the barrel and what you do good, what you not do good, and then obviously raise it. I was working on my swing at City, and I was late because they're throwing a little harder. But I'm like, I never thought about like they're throwing harder. I was like, I gotta just get my hips open and get my hips open, like you said, lower half, and then get the hands due. Well, I continue to work on that, and some days will be better than others. But then sophomore year, I started driving the ball, and then at Texas, they're like, you know, we're playing an inter squad game, and this is my first game, and now I'm like, I'm nervous. I'm like, dude, I want to do good. And then I go, and then, you know, because I hear the scout reports like their best reliever from last year. I'm like, dude, I got to face their best guy. I got to prove. I want to prove. I don't got to prove, but I want to prove that I belong here. So got nervous. I was nervous. I was really nervous. And then I go, and then I took a deep breath, got back in there, and I go, I'm going to just rely on the process. I'm going to put my best swing on it. That's it. So my best approach is always the same approach, whether I'm not feeling it, or 0 for 5, 0 for 10, whatever. I'm going to still give, like you talked about, for now, giving that best effort. So I'm like, man, I'm just going to give my best effort. And anyway, he throws me like a good slider down, and then I just like stayed with the process and got out of like, if I'm nervous or whatever, I go, let's do my best process right here. This is it. And I trusted that, and that's from the hard work. And I was able to hit a double off the wall, and I was like, dude. And it was just an amazing feeling, man, because
What a Philly.
getting scared and nervous, like Fernando said, I was picky, man. I had to be picky because I need to be picky because I want to be here. So it was just to share with hitters, like, trust the process. My best swing is always my best swing. And that's it. When I step in the box, and not be scared of that pitcher out there. But being picky, man, it's a game changer, because the standard you set for yourselves, man, It's huge in order to improve and move forward in the game. And whether that's, I share it with guys, whether that's like being awesome at freshman, JV, or varsity or college, but giving your best, knowing that you put your best effort in, and that you're like, okay, man, I did my best effort, I had a great season, and that was it, So, have a great baseball experience, whatever level it is, man. This game is the best game in the world.
Whatever level, be your best at it. And like you said, you got to be picky. And I think as hitters or fielders, slow it down. I think we learn by slowing things down. We got to teach our bodies to get in certain positions. And I think a lot of times we're in a rush, and kids speed through different positions. And you never get to spots that your body needs to get to. And the only way to teach your body to get to these spots defensively, whether it's fielding a ball nice and square and glove down, eyes on the ball, we need to slow that down in practice. So then in a game, you kind of just let it flow. Same with hitting. I can look at a kid, we'll give him with the eye test and see if he's, slowing down his lower half. Is that back knee coming after that front foot gets down on the ground? Because that's the way you want to take a pitch. Back knee starts coming towards the front knee when that front foot hits, and that's the way you hit an off-speed pitch also. But that's the way you want to teach yourself over and over again. I think it was a good point earlier too, Camilo, what you said. Kids these days, or even older hitters, sometimes I see it, they want to be too patient. You got to know and pick your spots. You got runners in scoring position. You got to be able to jump on. I see a lot of hitters these days and kids, they won't be ready to hit until 2 or 3 pitches into the sequence of the at bat, which is too late. It's too late. You have to go in. I tell them now that we need to get in that box ready to hit, before the first pitch even comes. We can't be ready to hit and swing it 2 or 3 pitches in because it's going to be too late, especially with runners in scoring positions. Because pitchers are taught to get ahead early. Let's jump on these guys. Let's get ahead early. So hitters got to be ready right with that pitcher and jump on that first heater or wherever it might be. You know what I mean? Let's take our chances with our best stroke, with the best pitch. And if they get us out, you tip your cap. But you got to be mentally ready to get in that. Once you get in that box, you got to be ready to roll. It's showtime. I think a lot of kids these days are not ready to roll until 2 or 3, 4 pitches into the at bat, and that's too late. Then they wonder why they swung at a slider in the dirt to strike you out. So just little things. I mean, it's all experience, and you learn the process and the aggressiveness. And I remember Vladimir Guerrero always told me, he goes, Fernando, you cannot walk off the island. You have to swing it. And that's what his mentality was, Vladimir Guerrero, all the time. And his son now too with the Blue Jays, Junior. You got to swing it. I mean, I'd rather have a guy that's aggressive swinging it than a guy that's taking too many pitches and being way too. Obviously, there's a time and place to be patient as a leadoff hitter, but you also have to know too, with runners in scoring positions, when you have stakes out there, you have to get that RBI. But it's all part of learning, the process.
I have to ask Fernando, I don't know if we went over this yet. Is there a player that you modeled your game after, and is there someone who took you under their wings?
Early on, it was Omar Vizquel with the Mariners who took me under his wing. He taught me so much defensively, the way, you needed to slow things. He taught me how to slow things down. You needed to slow things down. And because I was quick, and sometimes you're super quick and you rush out of your position. And he taught me that, to slow everything down, which I try to teach the kids these days now. Ozzie Smith was another guy that taught me what I needed to do defensively. I mean, these are the cream of the crop, 2 of the guys that the best to ever do it ever, so they were amazing, and they were able to share with me early on what I needed to do if I wanted to get to the next level. George Kissel was another coach that, he was a stickler for seeing the ball, holding it, seeing it with your eyes, and then we make the next move. That's how we practiced all the time in the big leagues. And this guy was around, God bless him, rest in peace. He was around the Cardinal. They always say the Cardinal way. George Kissel is the one that brought that together, whether it was bunting, fielding ground balls.
It's been awesome. I'll say this real from a side note about Arizona State. So I have a friend who's related to Dustin Pedroia, and he's like, he talked about the Arizona State standard, and he said, and then this made me think of you because your name came in the conversation, and I go, yeah, my buddy Fernando played there, and then he knew you were. He's like, oh, Fernando is Rick Snow. He played at Consunas back in the day, early day, and he was a Deadpool hitter. We talked about it, but he's like, and he was just giving the insights. He's all Arizona State, man. They get guys from like junior college, but then they expect them their junior year to sign And he was like, you got to go. And then because he said there was a guy who didn't get signed, and the coach was like, dude, we got another guy coming in. And so just to see like Fernando was there. So it was like, man, that's a standard they set. And the quality of players that they want is that they seek guys out that are going to play like professional level baseball, but that's the level of standard that Arizona State's looking at, is basically my point. But I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome, man. They're like signing guys knowing that they're going to be gone.
You try to, I guess that's the goal, is to find guys that buy in and that are gamers that will continue to work. You want to find characters or guys that with the mentality that they'll continue to work and they'll keep improving and being picky, to keep getting better, to do the small things. And that's the challenge when you draft guys, whether you recruit them. Are they hungry? Will they continue to work? Will they be satisfied if you give them a scholarship? There's a lot of guys that you give them $5 million to sign and they stop working. So that's the hard part. I know they put a lot of analytics into that, which the game does need some analytics, but you always have to know the eye test to see what kind of talk to kids and see what they have inside their heart, how long they'll go, how much they'll work. Will they shut it down if they have a little success, or do they want to be great?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Great. Well, thanks.
Thoughts, Aaron?
No, it's been a pleasure just to be a part of this conversation, with you and to pick your brain, about your experience and even today's baseball. So I appreciate your time, Fernando.
Oh yeah, it's an honor, man. I'm grateful to be on with both of you, and I appreciate the time also. I was honored to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for Arizona State baseball and also for the Milwaukee Brewers. So just these kind of honors that come with working hard and being picky for kids to learn and know that you have to stay on it and you got to keep digging because, again, things might seem far away, but man, they're really not. Things happen so fast. It's a small window. So I try to teach, and give that to the kids these days. It's a very small window to whether you're an 8th grader, 9th grader. We all know, Aaron and Camilo, how quick high school went by for us. You know what I mean? It's a tiny, tiny window. And when you start, you think it's forever, but it's small. So again, I'm grateful to both of you. Thank you for putting me on. It's an honor to be on with both of you. And I think we had a really good conversation about the game that we love.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's awesome. It's good to watch guys like you, man. And it's pretty amazing, man.
You're sharing the love and the teaching, the knowledge of this game, Camilo, which is awesome. You keep digging because you went through it and you know what it takes, and you're hungry to teach too. And that's what's awesome about this game, that we need, mentors like all of us to keep teaching our younger generations to be their best.
Yep.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fernando. Thank you very much, Fernando.
You're welcome. Aaron, pleasure to meet you, bud.
Good to meet you too. Thank you, Fernando.
All right. Thank you, Camilo. You guys take care.